Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, E-Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab, in my book. I got a nice lesson for you coming up. Oh, we starting to get to the good stuff. Let's do it. I'm ready. Right, this is 25 Rules to Live By. Storytelling, story with a message. There's a message in the story for life. I give life lessons. You tune in to receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission, and that's what I'm on, is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinking way of life through mental and spiritual discipline. Practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get there together. So I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I'm through. That's my goal, because that's what I do for you. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple. So you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believes and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself. And two, Mayat, be true. We're about to get up on her next. Okay, I got a nice little lesson. Remember, we're talking about the Nabircha. We call him God. But I'm going to break down what Nabircha means. I think I just gave that lesson. So I'm going to do that. Okay. Ooh, I'm down here now. Sorry about that. All right. But I'm wrapping up the other parts of the great truth, meaning the supreme being. We know there's one God. We got that. I'm going to break down a little more. Hopefully you get the understanding. I'm going to take it down to you. One God, three-person concept. I was one, then I became three, but we get to that in a minute. All right, I gave the reading. The writings above I just broke down to you from the Egyptian book Coming Forth by Day. But now I'm going to show you this here. I showed you this before. This is God, supreme Nabircha. Everything else emanations of him. Okay, from him, from these come us, the human beings. Okay, y'all, if you're Christian, these would be his angels or his demigods or whatever y'all call them, the servants of God. Everybody got a God and got messages of God. Okay, these are aspects of God. Same concept. Let's go. Hope you understand it. I'm trying to make it clear as you can. But what we're saying, what this is saying, is that there is a supreme she-taught netta, which is the hidden divinity God. And even the gods and the goddesses, meaning those beings who we fabricate that are in the next realm, okay, the pet above ours, meaning spiritual, not physical, okay, the astral realm they call it. Now, even they can't fathom the essence of that supreme being, which is fine. They just doing what they're here to do and function. Remember, they're elements, principles. So even the god and goddesses, which is the lesser beings, we were talking about the ones that are below the supreme. Every god after God is below him. Understand that. Even they don't have what? Full knowledge. They don't need. Just know what they know to know. I do what I do. That's the lane I'm in. I'm not going to deviate from what I know to try to impress you with. No, I'm going to do just what I do. That's what the elements, that's the service of God do. Just what they supposed to do. Moving on. I teach. That's what I'm going to do. And a lot of them have no full knowledge talking about, but watch this. The ones that are below the supreme being, even they don't have full knowledge. Again, full enlightenment. Don't need it. They just servants. They have to do the same thing human beings have to do. They have to practice uashu, which is what? Devotion to God. Everybody subservient to God have to show him reverence and respect. Moving on. Again, they let that be known. They also have to what? Listen. They also got to practice their disciplines in order to what? Enlighten themselves. That's us human beings. But even the guys here had to do their job and be proficient. Moving on. Hope you understand it, where we at. Now, gods and goddesses are what we call beings that are more elevated than us. What you mean? But not the supreme being. They better than us because demigods, demiurges, what? They're a little bit of God, a little bit of human, mixed in between, whatever. Okay, y'all call them angels or fallen, whatever. But these are all God's servants. But the scripture makes it practically clear. What? Particularly clear that men and women and gods are in a dark about what? This highest mystery, meaning thyself, God. So they both have to discover this mystery for themselves. Every individual has the right to know God for him or herself. And there's a blueprint that you can follow to make that happen. They didn't discriminate, okay? But they did say the masses wasn't worthy of certain knowledge, and I got to agree. Moving on. I don't like it, but yeah, some of the stuff that everybody, what I do ain't for everybody, so I have to agree with that. It ain't for everybody. But see this here? We're going to talk about this side over here. Now, this is called a Kemetic tree of life, okay? Not the Egyptian. Difference. Now, this is my book, Tree of Life. When you see a bunch of people, look at the headdress. Who the hell is this group of ragtag people? They look at all crazy heads, all kind of stuff going on. Who are they? Those are the aspects of God, okay? And aspects of your character as a personality. And they got purpose and reason for every one of them. And this is it on a bigger level, bigger form. I showed you this before. Everything on this page should be learned, understood, and mastered. Okay? You master this page. Every aspect of it is you. This is what I call my Bible. This is the book that will get you where you need to go. If you learn, practice, and master, you'll be right where you need to be with me. Self-knowledge. Okay, self-mastery. That's it. That's all you got. Because you know yourself ain't going to make you no special nothing other than you just have knowledge of self that you can live and enjoy life. That's all. And next one too. That's the guarantee for what? Living right here. They tell you that all the time. All right. What I just showed you is a breakdown. The Netheril, we call them, what I showed you to the first one on the left side, showed you the flag representing God. Everybody else was emanation of him. I showed you the big book. You got the Nether to the left. You got God and goddesses that proceed from the one supreme Nether. And remember, God is a modern term. We didn't have it. We called it Nether. Netheril was the other gods, okay? Nether meaning one, encompassing, the virtue. That's the one, all-encompassing. And this is the graphic depiction for you to try to get better understanding. One supreme being gives rise to all other beings, the divinities, the god and goddesses, and the human beings also, and even the nature, the planets, the stars, etc. God controls all. And this is what the right thing of philosophy says. This is what Wu means. One alone. God tell you, he didn't say, I'm a jealous God. He said, I am the one and only. I did this by myself. I didn't need no help. I'm all that and some. That's us. We the and some. He's all that, but we the and some. What's this? Now, the concept, the diagram above to the right, I showed you another book. The primary commission Netheril. Netheril meaning more than one. Company of gods. And their interactions. Okay, interrelationships. Every aspect on here is an aspect of your character. They had that broke down so much that all this is just a description of you. 3 aspects too. They give 3 different concepts. All in one. I love that. Watch this. So now the supreme being, Nether, is what we call the winged disc. You see the sun disc? Excuse me, disc with the wings and the rays. That's all God aspects. Wings to take flight, sun disc to recognize, and rays for protection. Excuse me. But the commission Netheril and the interrelationship between them, they all come together to make what? You. The supreme being, Nether again, he's the wing disc, the all-encompassing transcendental divinity that would decide for him. When you see that, you know who they talk about. That's God. Who earlier in history, okay, was called Haru. The spirit that's in us was always called Haru. Okay? The physical universe in which Haru lives is called Het Haru. The world in which we live in, aka, or what they call the house of Haru. That's you in the physical body. And this divinity, Haru, which is the spirit that's in me and you, again, just like Jesus, is also the noon, or what we call the primeval substratum, from which all matter is composed. That's God in His eternity. Everything comes from Him. The various divinities and the material universe are comprised of this primeval substratum. Everything is of God. Matter is actually androgynous. Told you. Left, female, in the Masonic order. And back in the day, we get a room for the men. We drop trowel. Everybody got 2-ball cane. Let's go. Woman, not excluded. It's excluded. If you ain't got 2 balls, you can't join this club. Hence, all male. So now instead of doing that, I guess it got a little vulgar, but they take the left breast, neck of left breast. Why? The left side of the man, because it's the female part. They want to make sure it's not a breast, and it's a female, it's a man's chest, not a female breast. That's why. Okay. Just a little tidbit. But the spirit was always androgynous. The Haru, the spirit, again, is related as male aspect of that androgyny. However, Haru in the androgynous aspect gives rise to what we call the solar principle, the sun, and this is observable in both the male and the female divinity. Haru is also just as powerful as Haru. They also have 4 kids. Another story, but it's a beautiful story. Why? Everybody got a life. Everybody got a story that they build around to get you a philosophy to understand. Now you see right here, perfect picture. This is God to them. This was God. The name. Amen, Ra, Ptah. And each one of them had their own following, their own crew who followed them in different parts of Egypt, okay? Memphite, Thebes, and Anu. And you see the headgear. That's important. I recognize my gods by this. Okay? Understand. And they did that for a purpose. When you see the picture, it's just stay in your brain, brings you the memory to what you know that to be. When I see that, I know that's God. That's the 3 faces of God. From the great truth. This is the first great truth. Now, I just showed you the image to the right. It provides an idea of relationship between the divinities of the 3 main Netarian spiritual systems, traditions. Anuian, Heliopian theology, Wesleyan, Then you got Thebes theology, the Hecapata, that's Ptah at the end. And you got the Memphite, okay, tradition, where there is what? Ptah, Amun, Ra, and Ptah. All 3 different aspects, all 3 different areas, but all the same God, conceptually. Watch this. And it'll tell you the composed of them. And you got the traditions are composed of, again, company or groups of God and goddesses. Their actions, teachings, and interaction with each other and with human beings will provide insight into their nature as well as that of human existence, giving you an understanding of creation itself. You're part of creation. Everything in it is, you're part of it. But the lines indicate what? Direct scriptural relationships, and the labels also indicate the same divinities from one system are the same as others in other systems. Again, one with only one name change. Again, this is attested to by the scripture themselves in direct statements, like what? Those found in the Pert M. Haru text, chapter 4, verse 17. Thus, all the divinities emanate from the one divinity, Khepri. He manifests as Nebercha, and Nebercha manifests as what? Amen, Ra, Ptah. 3 in 1. I just showed you that, the image to the left. And it's the graphics to show you what? Amen is the ram-headed God. Ra is the falcon-headed God with the sun disk and the Uranus. And Ptah is the manifested self-created God with the jade pillar behind him. And he wearing a skull cap. Okay, this is Ptah. This is us in the flesh, okay? These are all ideas that they can conceive to try to teach you about God. Being one and three, and then being called by many names, and then being addressed all kind of different ways, but it don't change the fact he's still what? Nabercha. Y'all call him God. Same thing, different name, same person. He ain't changed. Understand that? That's the lesson. That's going to be quick. I got y'all by there. My next lesson is the great second truth. And that's going to be about my girl. You know what? I'm going to do it. I can get too far out of this one. Let's go. This one's the great truth, the second one. Now it says, the second great truth is my favorite. An mayat, swa, sau, set, kunum. And that means lack of righteousness brings fetters to the personality. And these fetters cause ignorance of the divine. This teaching is reflected in the Netarian proverb. It says, there are two roads traveled in mankind, right? And those who seek to live mayat, and you got those who seek to satisfy themselves, aka your animal passions, your lower nature, aka set. Now, the choice in life is just that, for you to make for yourself. Daily, repeatedly, you can practice it. I live mayat, I love mayat, I understand it, I mastered it. So it's a way of life, a philosophy that I can actually make for real happen. The things that 42 confessions, I live by them. Hold myself accountable to them. When I first got that, I wasn't even in the ballpark. So it makes me feel good to know, I may change. What people think about it, I don't try to do that. I get my blessings from other sources. So that's what I'm trying to impress my higher self. And I'm trying to get you to realize that for yourself. That's it. That's all I got. That's it. Now, in a higher or more advanced sense, there are only two groups of peoples. Okay? Theists, atheists. Niche hostile, spiritual awakened, or what? Ignorant, worldly people who only want material. We live in a materialistic world, capitalist society. All we want is money. And pretty much they claim money is the root of all evil. No, it's what people do for money that makes them evil. If you wasn't driven by money, a lot of stuff you wouldn't do. I know when I was doing that for money, it was a lot of stuff I just did for the money. Now, I wouldn't do that stuff. That's crazy. See? Different mindset. That's what has to change. If you think in one way and it's wrong, you need to change the way you think. Sooner or later, you will. Why? That's the name of the game. You got to get this thing right. And the whole goal for being here is to do just that. My job is to help you along the way. Why? I got mine, so I can lend the hand to somebody else. If you ain't got yours together, stop giving advice. Stop telling people what they should do or what you think they should do. Do it for yourself. Then you can show them. You ain't got to tell them. Show them. Then they probably ask you advice. If they see you got it going on, yo, man, you know what? Yeah, there you go. That's how I operate. Moving on. And you got to understand, being ignorant, meaning you are a worldly, egotistic person. You want satisfaction for yourself, not to do nothing better for nobody else, not to help nobody else, unless something's in it for you. That's all devil. Okay? The devil is anybody who put themselves in that mode. Simple. Opposition to God. I don't want to be in opposition to God. Moving on. That's my choice. And realizing that, again, you can make that choice. If you know the difference, then you should show the difference. Watch this. Now, while there are generally good people in the world, again, but actually all people who are what? Not enlightened can be tempted, can be coerced, swayed, and bamboozled, whatever. Why? You don't know you. So somebody can con you, so to speak. Give you a wooden nickel. Put a banana in your tailpipe. Lead you astray. All these bad preachers, that's what they're doing. Moving on, watch this. Now, if you're not enlightened, that means you have some negative irony. You got some negative actions. You're doing some stuff that's not good. And you're causing it on yourself because of what? Your ignorance. So you're going to do things that you got to be responsible for. That's the constants. That's karma. When your actions is this, you're going to get what you deserve. Your actions are good, you get blessed. One day, that negativity will lead you to what? Pain and suffering. Why? That's the result of that action that you got the pleasure for. Now comes the pain. Why? That's the consequences of that action. If it's not done in earnest and right, you will have to suffer. That's why. And watch this. You had the pain and suffering, and that means you did something wrong. So in the end, worldliness, unrighteousness, selfishness, in a broad understanding of the term from a philosophical standpoint, unrighteousness is selfishness. When you want to serve you, you're going to do just that. When you want to do the right thing, you're going to help others get what they need or help somebody do something they need to be get done, not for something in return. Moving on. It is greed right there. When you get something, what you want more of it. And you see something, you will lust for that. Somebody got something you ain't got, you show jealousy. These is all qualities that you exhibit. And envy. All these is bad qualities. But the greatest of all unrighteousness is the unrighteousness of what? Of ignorance. Being ignorant and being so ignorant, you're not even conscious of your ignorance. That's a bad state. That's the worst. When you just don't want to know. You don't want to do better. You're going to settle. You're satisfied. You're comfortable. And you're going to wallow in your own misery. There's a lot of that going on too. That ain't new. Moving on. It's been going on for a long time. But when you hear me say the Commission, not the Egyptian, the Commission proverb goes, this is the old, ancient, this is ancient. There is no darkness like the darkness of ignorance. Let that sink in. There is no darkness like the darkness of ignorance. And what did the prophet Hosea say to us over 2,000 years ago? My people are being destroyed because lack of knowledge. That means we are ignorant and we're suffering generation after generation for that same purpose. Ain't we figured that part out yet? Well, those who do, I did. So I made the change. Now I'm just trying to wake y'all up to, you're going to keep going that route. That's the end of the cycle. Okay, but unrighteousness leads one to what? Untruth. And they base everything on what? What they believe. They don't need the truth. They just going by their belief. And this untruth and belief is the first true loss. The first fall of humanity. When man lost his way. Because of what? His belief was steered the wrong way. I ain't going no further. I'm leave that there. But I know there's a few different concepts. I say the fall of man is when he realized wasn't just to procreate. That perverted man. Now it's all about pleasures of the flesh. And that's just running rampant. And that's getting on my last nerve. Moving on. But that's just me. But that's a humanity problem. Why? It's happening today. It's still getting out of control. I just gave you a lesson. White America, Sodom and Gomorrah. If history is true, we should be putting umbrellas up. Why? We should be getting brimstone fire down on us sooner or later. Why? Because of what we live in. How we living? If anybody paying attention, you see we ain't living right. Moving on. Mr. Right is. So I'm an anomaly. I'm an exception to the rule. Yeah. A lot of people doing it. Excuse me. But this is what makes it possible for a human being to what? Fall into, as what the Commissions and the Harper song would say, the illusions and delusions of life. Believing this is it. So you got to get all you could while you could. That mentality has been labeled on us for the last almost 5,000 years now. Going on 6,000 years. Why? That's when the white man came into existence. Around 4,000 BCE. We all know that. That's history. I ain't just throwing out numbers. I give you the break. I ain't got time for that. But I speak from what I know. Simple. And I don't have all the time to just sit here and refer everything I say. But I got all the information that I say it from. I'm not just blowing smoke. Again, making stuff up. Ooh, like, let me wrap this up. I'll get you. Where we at down here? Now, let's talk my yacht. That's the whole philosophy that I practice. And watch this. They say no darkness like the dark of ignorance. Unrighteousness leads to what? Untrue. Believing a lie. For all you religious followers, I don't give a damn. You believe in a lie. You're making it because of your belief. The power is in your belief. And that belief, if it was centered on the truth, more it would blossom so much better, so much easier. Y'all making it hard to make it happen for y'all because y'all making a lie true. That's hard work. That's hard work. Possible, but hard work. When you got the truth, it ain't that hard to live it. That's what I'm saying. I'm good. Moving on. Watch this. When you get past the illusions of life, just to give you an understanding about the nature of divine, watch this. Consider that in the 20th century, science has already confirmed, watch this, the fact has been proven that all matter is composed of the same elements. We know that. The ancients told us that. But now we got proven fact. Okay, I got a problem with that. And watch this. Those elements are composed of what we know energy, frequency, and vibration. But the energy, the fact, that's fact, supports the what? The animalistic, pantheistic concepts of what? Non-Western religions. They wasn't beat for a whole bunch of nonsense like the Western civilization are. Yet we continue to have what pushed that Orthodox Western religion is correct. No, it's not. I keep telling you that. I don't give a damn. I'm telling you, I know better. So you can push it. You can put it. I know better, so we ain't got to go back and forth. You can take it or leave it. Makes no difference to me. But I know Western religion, that Bible is incorrect. And that African, Eastern, Native American religions are also what? Incorrect. That God is separate from creation and so on. That's all incorrect. That's just wrong. And I don't care how you make it, it's wrong. Been wrong, it's always going to be wrong. And y'all ain't going to admit it, so I'm leaving that alone, moving on. This means that all what? The objects that are you see in the room where you are, the plastic, the tiles, the floor, this, what? Mat, your clothing, your skin, the sound of your voice, the writing on the book itself, the air, all that breathing that we do, they are all what? Composed of the same stuff. Again, they tell you 75% of what's going on, we don't have a clue what it is. Dark matter, whatever you want to call it, but the ancients told you and y'all still ain't comprehending because y'all can't prove it. Again, moving on. But they call it stuff. But in Netherlandian philosophy, this is what is called the noon. Simple. Okay? Or the Pa'ut. The primeval ocean, when this primeval ocean takes on forms, this constitutes creation. Again, let there be light. How was that done? Who said let there be light? And it become light. Who was that? Okay? By the word. Okay? Be the word. Remember, we have discussed this before. The teachings of the word. Word was what? Was God. Was with God. So God gave the commandments. That's what he say. That's what it is. And that's why the Greeks like to name everything. Why? That gives them mastery over that. Because this concept. What's this? The word of God coming into what? The waters. And maybe what? Energy is there. Vibration. Now you got something going on. Okay? And it was causing it to take forms. And this much easier, this much earlier, this teachings don't only occur in Christianity. Y'all got it from somewhere. It also found in what? Religions in Africa, in India, and also even in the Americas, the Native Americans know it. And in fact, much earlier than any Christianity, it is important for you as a follower, learner, try to get knowledge, to have a different outlook than what is presented to you. Why? Because in a more limited or lesser advanced system of spirituality, they play the religious game. You must begin to what? Open up to the true grandeur of creation, see if what it really is. Otherwise, what? The mysteries of life will elude you. It will always remain a mystery. Why? You don't know yourself. That's the mystery that you need to find. And you will be in what? You will be fit, what? Only to be a lowly follower of some religious, dogmatic religion, faith that will offer what? Many platitudes. Offer everything. But that the same old slogans, dogmatic statements, and cliches, but it will limit your spiritual growth. That book, if you use right, will get you there. I know a lot of people so misinterpret that book, they ain't ever gonna get out of that book. Why? It ain't go. So around, wrap it up. But unrighteousness, again, leads to what? Ignorance. That's what it means. And therefore, the converse is true. Righteousness leads to what? Purity. Okay, reek, knowledge and wisdom from what? Righteous living. These are things that come from presenting the qualities that get you where you need to be. And watch this. This is said as a glyph, ganhum, There is no darkness like the darkness of ignorance. That's an ancient Egyptian proverb. I'm wrapping it up, taking it in. Ignorance, again, is our mortal enemy. Our intelligence enemy. Ignorance is our enemy for intellect, knowledge. Ignorance is insidious. Why? Because the ignorant mind, watch this, being deluded, believes it is following the right path. Again, all y'all believers, y'all are followers going the wrong way. Because you don't know, you're going the wrong way, and you'll find out eventually. And that's when you start going, what? My way. It's the right way. When actually, watch this, you believe you're going the right when actually it is following a path of its own design. My brother says, make up as you go. No, I'm following a pattern that'll get me where I need to be. I found God through worship, not praying and crying. No, living right, practicing the philosophy that I mastered, and it got me to God. That's why I can tell you, I know a way. It might not be your way, but I know a way. You have one? Then you can teach your way. Moving on, wrap it up. I'm trying to be facetious, but I'm going to be honest. Even when errors, and we are human, and contradictions are pointed out in your belief system, to such a person, he or she, his or her mind develops what? Their own rationalization to justify that ignorant ass following of that. They call it en-mayat, meaning A-N-mayat. What that means? Unrighteous actions. Okay, false belief system that leading you down the wrong path. And such a person has not, what? Purified his or her mind. You're still full of ignorance. You religious all get up, but you're ignorant to the truth. And is what? Incorrect and ignorant manner, ordered procedure. You're going to do things that you swear to God you're right, swear up and down, you know what you're doing. I'm not going to try to stop you. I'm not going to do nothing. Why? Let them be. They got the right to do just that. Moving on. But when you have a procedure that the sequence and the progression and what? The taco, that means a confused, haphazard, deranged movements with actions willy-nilly, as well as what? Tetra medu means they got confused speech. Anything that's tech, meaning wrong, and they got the wrong action, they're confused, they're doing things haphazardly, willy-nilly, and believe that they're doing something right and wonder why it's always not working out. I know people in church 40 years, still got the same problem. Moving on. Only through humility, again, humility and subjecting your ego to what? High authority. Hold yourself accountable. Now, I wasn't doing that. He didn't do that. So you continue to do. But when you hold yourself accountable, now you can stand up right. Listening to the heeding of the teachings and putting to use by practicing those disciplines when daily of what? We call it shidi, profound study. That means to study profoundly, to penetrate the mystery, understand, learn the secrets, and why? By living them. Now you experience, that's the mystical experience that religion's trying to get y'all religious followers to have. I know that. Y'all don't. Why is that? Can it be conquered? Yeah, the ego, and for the highest goal of life to reach is what? Nihas. That's knowing thyself. That's the highest level you can attain as a human being. Why? That's the level that's going to get you to the next level. Because this is going to end. Loving this, enjoying, why? It's going to run out. You want to prepare yourself. Bible, basic instruction before leaving earth. Why? You're going to leave. Spiritually. So you want to prepare yourself by what? Getting spiritually enlightened. Spiritual knowledge of self. Makes sense. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop. I got to go to grade number 3. I see it coming up. So I want to get these 2 lessons in. Hope you're enjoying it. I'm enjoying giving it. I see a few people who appreciate what I do here. I appreciate you too. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. May 100 miles a day. So I never let my right thinkers who learned the great truths about themselves have passed away. Trust me. I'll be right back.